Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Born Podcast, brought to you from our studio here in central Pennsylvania. I'm your host, Nathan Imboden, and on the Born Podcast, we get to champion the message of entrepreneurship and business ownership by interviewing local business owners and leaders right here, learning all about how they started, grew, and are running their successful organizations. You can find a full replay of those broadcasts on our website at questmont.com/Born Podcast and search for The Born Podcast on any one of your favorite social media or podcast apps so you can stay up to date on all this information. And really, today I'm excited to be able to bring back Corrie with Inspired by You, and Brooke, who actually I just kind of pieced together, was probably a newer member of the team when we first interviewed Corrie back during COVID. But there's a lot that's happened since then that is really why I'm excited to have you come back. And if those of you who are watching, we've had some previous guests who were on the show during COVID. Were you part of In the Crosshairs of Corona,
Yep,
that little series
yeah.
we did? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we did this series called In the Crosshairs of Corona, which was all about, well, I'm not going to go into what it was all about, but we'll talk about the relevancy of what it was about, which was businesses that were really, unfortunately, negatively, in a lot of ways, unfairly negatively impacted by the Corona pandemic, maybe some of the rules and the shutdowns that were involved there. And one thing I always wanted to do was say, all right, these businesses are going to come out on the other end, hopefully stronger. Most of them have. Right. And I want to bring these individuals back so they can tell that story. And you're one of them. So this is really awesome. So, Corrie, Brooke,
Hi.
Thanks for being here. Awesome to have you. Corrie, why don't maybe you give a little bit of a background on the company, on maybe how it got started. Brooke, maybe then we'll jump to you and talk about your role in the organization, and we'll dive in from there.
Sure. We started in 2015. I started in 2015 out of my garage as just a means to send my kids to a private school, just to make some additional income. And I didn't really know where I was going with it. I was doing furniture and murals and classes, all kinds of stuff. And somehow I landed on cabinets. And so I started off doing one a month, and then it sped up to two a month. And slowly but surely I started taking over my entire house, and my husband kicked me out. So in 2020, I moved into a shop right before COVID hit.
Was that in Mechanicsburg somewhere?
February, and it was right on Simpson Street. Yes.
Yep.
So that's where we're still at today. And it was February of 2020, right before COVID hit, and then March, we weren't able to go into the houses, and I had this lease payment, and it was crazy. So we had to kind of pivot and figure out things. And so we grew from, I guess, in 2015 when I started, single owner operator, working out of my garage, to now we have 19 employees. We do 2 kitchens a week. 15 out of our 19 employees are women. So we love women. And we love empowering women and giving them a means. A lot of them are part-time moms. And so we try to be flexible with them. And it's just been great. We've expanded into interior and exterior painting. We do countertops, flooring, backsplash, all kinds of stuff. So
wow.
Yeah, so it's been quite a journey.
Okay, I'm going to pencil that because that's new. Some of that is new.
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Brooke?
So I work 2 days a week. I'm one of those part-time moms, and I spray on site. So I get to go and see the finished product, and it's really fun. So the day before, a different team comes in, and they tape everything off and plastic and all this stuff and protect the house. And then we come in and set up, I get to make a fort every day that I work, put up this big plastic tent, and then spray the cabinets. So.
All right. So you mentioned something, but maybe we'll help bring it all together about you do 2 kitchens a week, but it's a kitchen in a week. I mean, is that kind of how you started?
We do 2 kitchens every 2 weeks, kind of is how it works, because it's like, we work on cycles. So we have different crews because we have a crew of part-time, mostly moms. We operate like we have a prep crew, and they're followed by a spray crew, which is followed by an installation crew.
Okay.
So that's kind of how it operates. And so Monday, our prep crew will go in. They'll get everything prepped. Tuesday, our spray crew will come in. And then Wednesday, our installation crew. And then Tuesday, our prep crew will move to kitchen 2. And then Thursday. So it just kind of one follows another.
And in the meantime, in the shop, that crew is working on the next week's kitchen.
The doors and drawers for the next week.
Got it.
Yeah.
So if I'm the homeowner, my kitchen will be done in 1 week.
Well,
ordinarily.
We're typically in the home for 3 days, generally. We'll tear down the doors and drawers a week in advance. So you're fully able to use your kitchen. You know, it's just, it doesn't have the doors and drawers on it. And so we're working in the shop on the doors and drawers the week prior. And then like we have a prep day where we're prepping both the kitchens, and then we prime and sand, and then sand and prime, and then we sand and prime again, then we sand and finish coat. So we have like a process in the shop that we're working on too. We have lots of systems and processes, and it's on point to keep everything functioning smoothly.
I was going to say, to be able to stay on that schedule, you've got to have good systems and processes in place to do that.
Yeah, and great people.
And we
have incredible people.
All right, you said about countertops and some other stuff. So, like, talk about that, because you're not refinishing granite.
No. We work with Classic Rock. Yeah. And I know that you've interviewed Alex on here. He's great.
Hey, buddy.
We actually did their kitchen. We did Alex's kitchen.
No kidding.
Yeah, we did. But they're awesome. So we've partnered with Classic Rock. They're amazing to work with. And so what we were finding is we're going into these homes, and our customers are having trouble tracking down contractors. And so we're like, how can we serve our customers at a greater level? We're in the kitchens anyway. Let's help them. And so we work with Classic Rock. So Chad will go in whenever he's doing an estimate. He'll give a rough measurement. He'll send it to Classic Rock. They give us an estimate, and then they do all the templating and stuff like that. So that works great for that. We do the same thing with backsplashes. We have trusted contractors that we work with those.
Okay.
We have great painters that we work with. So really, the trick was finding people who can, because when people come to us, they're looking for quality. That's what we're known for. We're known for quality service. So finding other contractors that meet those standards and that are accountable is hard to find. Accountable contractors. So just and it's great because then Chad is the point man for all of that. So if there's an issue or whatever, they just come to him and he deals with it. So it kind of alleviates a lot of the burden off of our customers and makes it nicer for them.
That makes sense. So when you're saying countertops, you're saying
we're not painting
it's a bolt-on as a which makes sense with them because you are the contractor that they're doing it through, since they're not direct to consumer. Got it.
Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
So talk me through a little bit of, COVID hits. What did the business look like at the maybe start of COVID compared to what it looks like now? You said 19 employees, you're doing 2 kitchens a week, et cetera. But what did it look like back then?
I think we've always worked to serve our customers at the best level as far as what we were capable of serving them at. When COVID hit, we had 3 employees. It was Patricia, Shannon, and Carrie. And we were brushing and rolling everything on site. I did not pick up a sprayer until 2018, which is kind of crazy to me because I sprayed so many. I feel like I've sprayed a ton. So I think we were still spraying doors and drawers at that time, but we were brushing and rolling everything on site. We switched to industrial coatings because when I was operating in my garage, I was brushing and rolling everything. I was using a clay mineral chalk-based paint. Now we're spraying industrial coatings. We're using top-of-the-line equipment in an industrial spray booth. So we have the best, our goal is always to give our customers the best. So I think our education has improved vastly since the beginning of COVID. A really good, during COVID, I broke the rules a little bit. We had classes in my shop, so don't tell anybody. Hold your ears if you're listening.
I was a strict rule follower,
Oh my gosh.
so we're gonna have trouble.
It was the absolute best. learning period because I have a network through Facebook. I have a network of top quality finishers from all across the nation. And so every month from August to August 2020 to August 2021, every month I would bring in a different refinisher into our shop, and they would teach on a different subject that they're an expert in. And so collectively, like I attended every one of those classes because I was the host, and a lot of our crew attended those. So virtually, like our crew was getting trained by the best of the best.
Yeah.
And we were able to utilize all of that knowledge and create a system that was all our own, but with like incredible amounts of experience. Some of these finishers have been finishing for 40 plus years. So it was pretty awesome.
All right. How did you get people, like, how did you convince those people? Because not in a negative way, but there was an extremely selfish benefit that came from that. Not, like I said, not in a negative way, but you learned a lot about that. And full disclosure, it's one of the reasons why I love doing this, because I get
to learn.
To learn from a lot of people. Yeah. But one of the challenges that anybody in that situation faces is, well, how do you get good people to come in and show them that their time is going to be a worthwhile use of their time to come and do that? So what was the pitch, the draw to those individuals to get them to come and do that?
Well, I think people were just so hungry to learn. And the painting community for a long time, it was such a selfish community. It was like, this is the way I've done it for 30 years. I'm not sharing my secrets. And now I think with the new heads of the Painting Contractors Association and the direction that it's going, it's just a real vastly sharing community, which is incredible because then it elevates everyone. And I'm a big believer in sharing. Like, if you follow us on Facebook, I share everything. Like, I'm an open book.
Yeah, you have no secrets.
No, and it's that transparency. It's like, this is what we do. This is how we do it. I think too, with on Facebook, we have a group of 100,000 some people with that deal with kitchen cabinets. So like they want to learn, they want to grow, and they want to learn from some of the best. So I think with the network of people that we had, and we promote some of these guys too, and they're good friends of mine. So I think they had no problem coming in and sharing, and I paid them for their time, and it was a great time. Like, we just made a great thing out of it, and it was awesome. I mean, the trickiest part of it was figuring out how to have a class with a bunch of people during COVID. And so, like, we gave people stickers, like green stickers, you can come close to me, red stickers, stay away from me, like all kinds of like different things that
shaking
we had to, I know.
Days. Oh,
Can
man.
you believe that is the life we lived for a year?
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Did anyone else, like, I've been, I don't know if you know where I'm going. I'm a huge fan of The Office. And I've started to slowly indoctrinate our team with, The Office related stuff. But all I could think about was the montage of Michael Scott talking about color coding. I don't know, did you watch that? Or,
I didn't see that episode, but I can imagine.
It was on his index cards, and he's talking about how he color codes different topics, and pretty much every color means don't bring it up. And it's just, I don't know why, sorry. But that's maybe my way of saying, look, when I hear color coding in COVID, I'm going to go to a happy place, which is a funny scene in The Office that makes me laugh and joyful. Yeah.
Yep. You just block that out of your mind and go to your happy place.
All right, let's turn to you for a second, Brooke. Yeah. So how did you find this, and why do you do it?
Oh, great question. So I was coaching basketball with Chad, Corrie's husband.
Okay.
And I was painting walls with a friend from church, and it was getting closer to like Christmas, and he said, I don't have much work coming up, so I don't need you for right now. I'm like, oh man, well, I need a different job then. And I was talking to Chad about it in practice, and he's like, well, I know this lady, this painter. that maybe she could use you. And I'm like, oh, well, I'll give her a call. And he's like, well, I'm the HR guy. I'm like, all right. And it worked out.
Funny how that works.
I know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
This
just
lady.
I knew a guy. I knew the right guy, and it's been really great. It's fun. It's different every day. It's the same, but it's different. You get to interact with the customers. There's tons of problem solving, and how are we going to do it today? And the people that we work with are great. Corrie's great. Like she always says, there's no such thing as a paint emergency unless like the painter explodes on carpet. But other than that, even then it was fixed.
Yeah.
It was fine. And so she's a good coach. Like she's a good coach in volleyball. She's a good coach in painting, and makes it easy to work for her. And like, you're asking, why did you have these classes? Like the people wanted to come, like here's an open book. This is how we've done our business and how we've been successful. I'll teach you. And I think people were just drawn to that. Like, oh, you're going to share with me? You want to help me get better? And it was just a really neat mindset that I don't think is normal.
All right, I'm going to ask now you the same question.
Oh, geez.
Why do you do what you do? And why did so you said, I started this thing because I was trying to make some money to help send my kids to school.
Yeah.
That's a little different than, because you could have done that probably on your own and had enough money but now you're 19 people in, you put some clues into the demographic that's there that I think is probably a little bit spirited behind the passion behind why you do. But why do you do this, and why do you continue doing this, and why will that go?
I feel like I've been called to lead, and particularly women. Like I've always been like the captain of my teams and like into leadership roles throughout, and I just feel like I don't know. I feel this drive inside of me. I don't know. I can't explain it. I feel very driven to empower women in particular. I think recently we partnered with Peace Promise, and that has been incredible. Just having workers come and work for us who they can't get jobs because they don't have resumes, and then they can't get housing because they don't have jobs, and we're able to employ them and see them thrive. And it's been like, that stuff fills me up to no end, and I will go to the ends of the earth for like, to be able to do that kind of thing. And I just feel like everything that we have with Inspired by You is a gift that's been given to us, and we've got to use it for the most good. And so how many people can we impact? I think our goal is, how can we give our customers the best experience possible?
Right.
How can we give our teammates the best experience possible? Like just a couple weeks ago, we had a couple who was their 60th anniversary. And so we're like, how can we make this a great week for them? And so instead of doing our regular craft brown paper when we're masking boxes, we use anniversary paper. And we brought them flowers and a cake. And, we just tried to make it special for them because we want to. But to me, it's not about painting cabinets. It's never been about painting cabinets. If you would have asked me 10 years ago what you'll be doing 10 years from now, that would have not even been on my radar.
Yeah.
Like it's not a passion of mine to paint cabinets. I love giving people great experiences and empowering people to live their best life. And so I think that's kind of what drives me. Yeah.
That's really awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna look at Ricky, who's co-producing today, because we just had this discussion today, because you hit on, I think, a thing that a lot of organizations don't seem to have a great grasp of, but also don't really drive that home with their team. So I want to talk about that a little bit. But that's the deeper version, an answer to why you do what you do, because it's not painting cabinet.
No.
People can paint beautiful cabinets.
Right.
There could be 1,000 of you in central Pennsylvania that could do what you do and paint them well. You do it differently.
Yeah.
This happens to be the means to a different end, but there's an end there that is ultimately what helps to connect, Brooke, you to coming in and wanting to do the same thing every single day, and the Are you one of the 19 or are there 19
I'm
others?
one of the
Okay.
19.
The 17 others.
Yep.
She's definitely,
See?
she's
That's
3
good
or 4
math.
of the 19.
That's good math, ladies. Thank you. The 17 others that want to show up every day to create that same impact, because there's this bigger mission behind what you're doing.
Right.
And I would imagine, so I'm going to ask you now from
Yeah.
that standpoint, because as the one that's kind of guiding the ship, so to speak,
Right.
do you feel that? Like, do you see that from her? And is that a core part of, too, why you do what you do?
Yeah, I think so. Because I could, go paint anywhere, but I love, the team aspect of it, and the shared responsibility, and that there's a greater purpose that we can do all for the glory of God. Like, I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I'm going to say it.
Sure.
Like, that's the ultimate reason that everything that we do it with great effort that glorifies Him. And I love that. I think it's great. Like, Corrie is not shy about her faith with the team, and it's awesome.
So do you have rhythms then within the organization that allow you to talk about that mission, reinforce it, keep it top of mind? Like, because that kind of stuff really should be guiding and framing almost everything that you do.
Yeah.
But it can be easy to get distracted in the busyness of 2 kitchens a week. That's a lot of work.
Right.
And there's a lot of logistics involved in tear down and setup and, all these crews. So how do you, what rhythms have you put in place to help
I think
not
our
lose focus of that?
Friday, we have leadership team meetings every Friday morning, and I think that really helps us to refocus and make sure, okay, what went well this week? What are we gonna change? What events are coming up? Do we know of, with our customers? Is there something that we can do to give them a better experience? Things like that. I think that helps. And we always hem our meeting in prayer, because my mom always said a day hemmed in prayer is a lot less likely to become unraveled. So,
By the way, I think we should do a quick shout out to Grammy if she's watching.
Grammy, I've got a lot of Grammyisms, Carolisms. I love her. She taught us so many great lessons growing up. But that's how we do our meetings. We hem them in prayer. Our mission is just to be a light to other people. So I feel like the more we can keep that at the forefront, and the more we can I feel like our leadership team does such a great job of trickling that down to everybody else who's on the team too. I feel like we were really intentional with who are the heads of our leadership team and who are the heads of each department, so that they can all function together as one unit. We work as I feel like it's just this beautiful family working together, almost like a body, we all kind of function because we're all independent. Like Brooke is the head of the spray crew, and Allie's the head of the prep crew, and Tim's the head of the, we each have our functions, but we all work together so beautifully, and Christ is at the center of it all, and we try and keep that at the forefront of what we do. And it's not like I'm not one to always just talk about it. I'm not that in your face person. It's more like this is who we are. And I think for a long time I had trouble coming up with our core values, because I'm looking up online. I'm like, what should our core values be? Oh, this sounds good and this sounds good. And it was it just wasn't who we are. Yeah. And so I put it out to our team, and I was like, when you think of inspired by you, what do you think of? Who are we? And that's how we got our mission. That's how we got our core values. We're faith led. We're solution seeking. We're mission minded. Those are our core values. It's just who we are. It's what we are.
So I think recently you had made some sort of an affiliation with an industry group or something like that to try to help the business. Why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we were looking to scale our business, and we wanted to scale it with interior exterior painting. We knew that was a direction that we wanted to head, and I have some really great friends out of Minnesota, and we had connected on it, and I really felt like God was leading us in that direction. And for me, at the time, I was working all parts of our business, and I felt like I was drowning. And I needed a partner. I've been praying for a partner. And I was hoping that partner would be my husband. but he was in the supportive role at the time, And once we partnered, it was like a venture partnership with this company, and it was going good, but it wasn't it was just a really challenging transition because we were so focused on cabinets, and we were the first partner that they partnered with that wasn't doing interior exterior painting. So it was just a challenging transition. But what happened during that time is it was so good because it forced Chad to take a good hard look at our business. And he was like, holy crap, you've created an asset for our family. Like, we need to do this together. And so my prayer came, God answered my prayer, like, for a partner, but it wasn't the partnership that I had, you know what I mean?
Sure.
It was completely different. And all of the company that I have partnered with, they're incredible, and they can help scale painting businesses like none other. But for what we were doing and our all of our part-time workers and stuff like that, it wasn't the right fit for us. But I totally believe in what they're doing, and we parted on really good terms. They're an incredible company. But for us, it was so beneficial because now Chad and I are working together with the same vision, and we have a lot of great things in place moving forward. Olive gave me the confidence to hire too. I was so comfortable with our crew and where we were, and I didn't want to scale the cabinet refinishing aspect because I was if we grow, I'm going to lose our culture. I don't want to lose that culture. And so I was kind of gripping onto it. And it forced me to, over the summer, we hired 7, and they're some of the most incredible people. So it didn't squander our culture, it enhanced it. And so it was a blessing. And so looking back, I count it all joy. It was a crazy transition. I would not want to go through it again. Our team, they've been so flexible and so wonderful throughout the whole process. But the great thing is, heading into 2024, we're on such a good, we just have everything in place to move so that it'll be a really smooth, wonderful year with no bumps. I'm speaking it anyway.
Don't say it.
I'm speaking it.
Oh, no.
It's going to be amazing.
Well, it's going to be amazing. But,
yes. Yeah, so like I said, it was just a learning experience. We learned a lot through the process. And I gained a great partner through it all who's walking with me now instead of just in that supportive role. He's a very active role and an integral role. He's been doing amazing as far as sales and marketing and all of that. So,
awesome.
Yeah. It's been a year though, right?
It's been a year.
It's been a really good learning experience. We'll say it that way.
We'll talk after this. Yes. Yeah. Well, and this leads back to when I said to Ricky about discussions we had earlier. What you eventually, it sounded like what you came back to was, look, we have this organization that on the surface, they appear like they are going to do exactly what we want them to do because they do a great job of scaling these organizations.
Right.
However, when you start to dig into it, when you dug into it a little bit further, it sounds like it connected back to, you know what, it doesn't check the boxes that we need it to related to what our mission is, what our purpose is, how we really want to impact our team, our community, our clients. And it's good to learn that, but I imagine that learning that will also help you guide future decisions like that going forward because you have a lot more clarity around that. Is that fair to say?
No question. And I think one of the things that drew me to them was they were very missional minded, very we were just a lot of the same core values, just really, really incredible minds. But yeah, it was just, our business is so different. There's not a lot of businesses out there who focus on, let's build our business with part-time moms.
Yeah,
it's just such a different a different feel. So yeah, I think it helped to expand our mind a little bit, and I learned a ton. I learned a ton through that whole process. So, yeah.
How many of your employees are part-time versus full-time?
All of them.
Every single one. Well,
Yep.
minus you.
Minus me and Chad.
Yeah, and Chad. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That strikes me as a logistical nightmare in
It can
terms
be.
of
Yes, that's why we have our leadership
organizing.
team meetings.
Yeah. All right. So let's get in the weeds about that. And
Yeah.
what's your role in terms of organizing teams and that kind of stuff? Maybe I'll start with that.
I don't
Okay.
really organize teams. It's
All right,
just
so
me
you
and
get to
one
get
other
in-
lady, and we
okay.
just show up
And paint away.
and paint away.
Beautiful.
So yes, other groups have a bigger crew, like
Okay.
if people get sick or their kids get sick, and trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can jump in and help,
Yeah.
but my team's a little smaller.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So how do
Yeah.
you do that then? Do you have
Right.
technology or like you talked about
Yeah.
processes and systems and such? What do you do to help?
Well, so
Coordinate all
we use T-sheets and Workforce and things like that. So if
Okay.
people have off or whatever, they can schedule those dates. I can approve it. But everybody, even though they're all part-time, they all have specific days and shifts that they work. So we know, okay, these are Monday, Tuesday workers. These are Tuesday, Wednesday workers. Like this. So everybody has those shifts. So it does help, and we have specific crews too.
Okay.
So if there's like somebody's calling off or whatnot, everybody can do pretty much everything, because when we're onboarding, we have everybody go through the process so they can see start to finish what happens at each step. So like if Courtney calls and her son is sick all night and she can't come into work, we're like, okay, who can fill in for Courtney? And like people, because we're all part-time moms working like that, we all kind of understand, hey, we're in the same boat, and we all kind of pitch in to help each other, and that way it functions a lot more smoothly.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's times, and I'm flexible now, so I can jump in and help whenever I need to, and it works for us. And it's really interesting. I think that's drawn a lot of really quality people to us too. I mean, when you look at our team, I mean, Brooke and Becca are our spray crew. Both of them are just incredible women. They both have 6 kids. They're both just, wow, amazing. 12 kids between the two of them.
It's a basketball team with
I
some
know.
subs.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Ages.
Yeah.
What's the age range?
17 to 6, and Becca's are 16 to 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeehaw.
that's our spray crew. We have Bethany as a photographer, like she has her own photography business. Sean and Jason both have power washing businesses. Jen's a vet. Like we have just the most incredibly like amazing team. Tim. I'll talk about Tim. Like, do I have time to talk about Tim? Because Tim needs some time for himself.
Yes.
Okay, so Tim, we did Tim's kitchen, okay? And
Okay.
the whole time we're doing Tim's kitchen, he's kind of like watching, and you could tell like he's really interested with our processes and stuff. And I didn't have time, because it was a fairly large kitchen, I didn't have time to install the doors that night. So I sat him in the garage and we packaged him stuff. I said, I'll be back tomorrow and we'll get it done. So that night, I got a text from his wife, because Tim and Sherry and I, like, we're friends. And she was like, hey, take the day off tomorrow. We got the kitchen installed, blah, blah, blah. Well, that day, I had been talking to a mentor, and my mentor was like, why are you still installing kitchens? And I was like, because it requires somebody who is a good thinker, and like you can think on your feet, and there's always a problem to be solved, and we get it done right for the customer. So that night I get that text from Sherry, and they had installed this whole kitchen. And it was one of the most challenging installs, like 3 different types of hinges, inset doors. Like it was a crazy kitchen to install. And I said, Sherry, do you guys want a job? And she said, don't laugh. Tim had owned Watson's Supply and sold it like a year and a half prior. And so he's been pretty much retired
Yeah.
and like looking for something to do. And so he came in, we talked a little bit, and I was like, oh oh my gosh, you are like just a godsend. And so he has been with us for several months now, and he's brilliant. And like it is amazing. So like we have all of these like amazing business owners and moms, and like just our team is like just such a crazy. I don't know why these incredible people have been let into my life, but I consider myself mightily blessed because they're all just amazing, amazing people. But every day I go in, like today I went into the job. I'm coming from an install today just to check it out, and Tim had all of these gadgets. Like he puts together jigs, and I'm like, this is amazing. You would have saved me so much time when I was doing installs, because it's awesome. So, yeah. So that's Tim.
That's incredible.
Everybody needs a Tim.
Everybody
like
needs
we
a
say
Tim.
that at least once a week. Everybody needs a Tim.
He might not like hearing this, but Tim the Tool Man, is that the...
Oh, yes.
that's
Tim
a
the
bad,
Tool
right?
Man.
Joy? You know that reference? She does.
Oh,
Whoa,
she knows.
hey, all right. Yes, golf clap for Joy.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that speaks to the culture, the environment that you've created. Our common faith is, I think, part of that as well. But there's something bigger behind all of this than just painting cabinets. And when that, I think, is at the forefront and is really being portrayed, people want to be a part of that, because most people want to be a part of something bigger. We all go down different paths of how we identify that or define what that is. But we want to be part of something bigger. And whatever that is, people are connecting with that, and they're saying, yeah, I want to be a part of that. This is awesome. So that's really cool.
It's wild.
And are you, and this is just a more practical question, so I think you said, what, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, are they the primary work days for people?
Primarily.
And that's
Monday,
maybe
Tuesday,
what helps with
Wednesday,
scheduling.
Thursday. Okay. Friday is my day where I'm catching up, meeting with customers, things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, and we have 2 nurses. Our Monday crew is nurses. Yeah, so if you get hurt, we're there.
Yeah, we got you there.
There we go.
Yeah.
Allie and Tammy are both nurses.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah,
That's
it's wild.
awesome.
Like,
Yeah.
they're awesome.
Huh.
But yeah, that's our Monday crew. And then Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Thursday, we're in the shop. That's usually finish coat, things like that.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's wild.
All right. Now, looking ahead, because it's hard to imagine 3 years from now compared to 3 years
I
from
know.
before and what that might look like. But if you were to look out 3 years from now, what would you want to kind of see happen that you would look back and say, yeah, this was a success?
I would love, first and foremost, I love what we're doing with Peace Promise. And I've helped with the Women in Paint initiative with the Painting Contractors Association. We just had our first conference, but just to empower women across the painting industry, because right now only 7% of painters are female. So I think if we were able to help other businesses do what we're doing with Peace Promise locally, and to help some of these women who have been survivors of human trafficking, and just give them jobs and help them to thrive in this industry, I think that would be incredible. That would be a huge win for me. I think we're also looking to help other businesses across the nation, because they have a network through Facebook, to help them create inspired by yous in their community, using our processes and our systems, and again, like, empower women, like do that part-time model with moms, and do that. We can stamp that across the country, and we can do like all of their marketing and sales and stuff. We have systems set up for that. So
almost like quasi-franchise,
kind of like a franchise,
or licensing type thing. Yeah,
similar to that. So we're looking into scaling in that capacity. We won't take on more than 2 kitchens a week. You're welcome.
Yes.
Yeah,
and
so,
Brooke wins.
So we'll do.
Or you just need another sprayer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll keep 2 kitchens a week. We're good with that.
Do it 2
Oh,
hands.
2
There you
hands.
go, yeah.
Oh, wow. Well,
Right.
something to think about.
We're going to increase our interior exterior painting, primarily interior painting. We love that. We love our painters that we're working with, and they're just amazing. So we'll continue to scale with that, and there's some other stuff too that we want to do. I love holding classes too. I have an education background, and I love just sharing knowledge. I believe that all the knowledge has been given to us. So if we're able to pass that on to other people and help other businesses grow, I love that aspect of it as well. So ways that we can our goal is just to be local and present in our community, to help our communities grow and just be more involved in that way. Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
A few things you hope to get done here in the next few years, but
Yeah.
I have every faith and belief that it's going to happen. And
Yeah, we
you've
have
been
the right
along for this
people.
ride,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
I think
I
you
think
would
so
probably
too.
say the same
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're constantly learning and growing. I think that's the key as we continue to move forward. Like just not too long ago, like I know Brooke was starting to burn out and stuff, and it was
True.
tough, and
Yeah.
it was like, okay, how can we, because we know that Brooke is right people, right? So when you have right people, okay, how can we make this work, and how can we make it move more efficiently, and why is it taking so long on site? And so like it was a time of just reassessing, and okay, we've got right people here. How can we keep the right people in place, and how can we lighten their load and make sure that we can make it work? And so I got back in, and I was on site, and we were working together, and we were figuring things out, and we found so many efficiencies that now they're done by like 2-3 o'clock, as opposed to before it was like
5 or 6.
5 or 6. So like
That's
just
good.
little efficiencies by going back and being intentional. So I think, as we grow, we just continue to be intentional about the training aspect, and, constantly working to help our team and stay focused there.
Well, one thing I think is so great is you are always so open to, if you can think of a way to do this better, like I'm all ears. Like it's not like this is my way or the highway. Like that's not you at all. And I just love that about you. Like you're always trying to help us be better and are always open to hearing our ideas. So I think that's part of the reason you're so successful.
I heard once the greatest hindrance to growth is ego. And so it's like if you want to grow, then there's no room for it.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
This has been fascinating.
Yeah.
I don't want it to end. I could do this for hours upon hours. And Joy would sit there, and she would keep giving me time signals, and then we'd keep going, and we'd have... But for anybody at home who has not, well, maybe, I think I've said this maybe before about you, who either is living under a rock or is not tuned into social media or whatnot, who has not seen your awesome Facebook, TikTok, whatever it is that you're doing out there. But for folks who have not heard about you, which, by the way, everybody at home, so we know folks, she mentioned classic rock. I know really good kitchen and bath designers that do everything from standard to high end. I'm going to make a bold claim here.
Okay.
The number one name in refinishing work here in Central Pennsylvania is inspired by you.
Oh,
And that's
thank
with
you.
all of them. Every single one. The first person that comes to mind, they say is, have you guys heard of Inspired by You? Yes, I have. So if you haven't yet, what's the best way for people to learn about what you do and get in contact with you?
Yeah, you can follow us on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, Inspired by You 2015, and we keep it simple. It's the same handle for Instagram, Inspired by You. It's the letter U, 2015. And I would say you can go to our website too, inspiredbyu.com. That's you'll get a good sense of who we are. We love posting about our people, about our process,
The
about
before and after pictures are just
Oh,
amazing. Like that's what
unreal.
you want to see,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Go to Facebook, look at the before and afters, and it's
Right.
just like,
Yeah.
wow,
yeah.
so different.
Yeah, and I mean, we definitely pride ourselves on quality, but I think even more so, we love just giving a great experience.
Yeah.
Like that's what we're about. We love. I love it whenever I go into a customer's home and they're like, you can tell your team loves working together. Like they love being in people's homes. They love just, they are a light, and it's awesome. It's awesome. So we just love to give our customers a great experience.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you can feel that just talking here. Purpose, passion, paint. That might be
Hey,
that
there
could
we
be a
go.
good title
A new T-shirt.
for your, yes, it could be a title for the podcast.
There we go.
You know what, I tell you.
Oh, I like that.
I'll allow you, if you want to use it for a T-shirt,
might,
I'll
I
give you the
might.
rights to do that.
She'll send you one.
Yeah,
send
perfect.
you
But this has been incredible. So thank you
No, thank
for coming
you.
on the show,
Yeah.
for sharing some of your insight, and for being a part of this. It's just incredible to see where your organization and you all have come compared to a few years ago when you kind of gotten a little kick in the tail and stomped on when you were down. But those situations, I think, give us an opportunity to really rise out of it and come out stronger on the back end of it. And it is clear and evident that that's what you guys have been able to do, which is really awesome. So I'm glad you could come back and share that story, and thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Well, everybody at home, I said it already, the #1 name in refinishing here, inspired by you. Go to the website, check them out on social media. If you're looking for any of that work to be done, refinishing, kitchen work, you got to check them out because they're the best in the business, and clearly they care. They're going to have a lot of
we do
fun.
care.
They're going to take care of you, and they're going to have a good time doing it. So hope you enjoyed this. We might, well, actually, no, one more episode. We're going to have somebody else coming on, but then I'm going to tease this out because this just came out this morning with our production crew. I actually think I'm going to be a guest on a show coming up because I realize we haven't talked a little bit about why I really am passionate about doing this and talking about this story. So I'm going to tease that out. Joy, I hope I don't make your life more difficult by doing that. But there's something about saying it that makes it happen. So now it's going to happen. So we got one episode that's between that, but look forward to that and sharing a little bit more about my journey and why I'm here and why I love bringing people like Corrie and Brooke onto the show to tell their stories. So keep on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, this is all about Inspired by You. So check them out. We hope you enjoyed this show. We'll see you next time on the Born Podcast. Thanks.